And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of New Earth Practices. So, we're going to be covering a lot of interesting things today, looking into the vagus nerve exercise and also looking into cleaning up the dream body. But before we get into that, I just wanted to share kind of a personal success story with all of you. And it's just in regards to my own life, what I've been going through recently as well too, and what I was able to discover by going a lot more deeper within. So last night I decided to do just a personal check-in with myself, a personal reading, and I was getting some insight that related to me getting a little bit of frustration, right? A little bit of apathy coming my way, right? Just some buried feelings that have been with me for the past couple of months that I didn't even really notice were there. Because what I was seeing is that on the surface, I was feeling great, right? I felt like I had a lot of great energy. I felt very, very energized. I felt very strong. I felt very happy. But as I went deeper into the surface and went into a deeper state of evaluation, I was noticing that there are some parts of me, and again, this has been kind of playing itself out for the past couple of months, that has been frustrated because one, can't travel anywhere, can't explore the world, can't really set up the old events like how I used to. Like when I used to go to Japan and I would teach there, I would go into the United States, I would go into other areas of the world, and I would set up these events. And I'd start talking to people and start sharing this great information in front of an audience. And there was a part of me that really, really missed that, right? And I still do. I still do miss that quite a bit. And just with the whole agendas that are happening all over the world right now, knowing that I could not do that set up some frustration, right? It started off kind of small, and then it kind of built itself up more and more throughout the months. And I noticed that my action center, right, we can commonly refer to that as the solar plexus, was very, very dim, right? I didn't really have any ambition. I didn't really have any of that particular forms of fiery drive within me, right? I enjoy doing these, of course. I enjoy doing sessions, but there was that creative spark that was always very, very prevalent within me in the times past. And I noticed that this morning as I was looking into myself and saying, yeah, the solar plexus is really, really dim, right? There's just that it's healthy, but that drive, that fire within me, that creative spark, that creative energy, just feels like there's a dimmer switch and it was on the lowest possible setting, relating to my ability to be creative, my ability to commit to action, to really kind of get the passion and the drive flowing again. And so I was getting this reading last night and saying that there's been some dimness within myself. There's been some challenges that I've been going through within the past that I did not notice on the surface. And so doing the BCR technique this morning, I was able to light up that fire a lot more, right? Being able to bring up that action center. It's kind of like I was envisioning a bonfire, right? Just seeing a large fire within my mind as I was going into my reinforcement space and being able to see this kind of like phoenix rising from the ashes, right? So I went through this. Again, it's been like that a couple of months. I've just noticed that there was the feeling of not really having a lot of passion for things, right? Just doing my work, being happy doing my work, but not really a passion to create something new, to create something innovative, to create something exciting, right? That really wasn't there. And so I had to see this, right? Spirit was telling me this last night. You gotta stoke the fire with that action center again. You gotta stoke the fire with the solar plexus. You gotta bring that brightening star, that sun within yourself and radiate it, right? And just really feel good to be alive, really feel inspired by things. It's true that as we go into meditation quite a bit, we start to settle everything. Everything starts to become mellow, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't bury anything. It doesn't conceal anything. It doesn't shroud anything. It just makes these high active spikes nice and mellow, right? And so I was doing that a lot, but this was not the idea of mellowing out the situation. It was the idea that there was some conflict within the action center that I did not know about, and went in and used the BCR technique and completely flooded the light back into the action center, right? So as your guys' teacher, right, I have flaws as well, right? I trip over my own feet. I fumble quite a bit because I was looking a lot at the surface and so, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling right now? I feel good, feel great, feel excellent. Okay, that's a good surface scan. But there will be times where we'll need to be a lot more thorough. We have to go very, very deep within ourselves. We really have to look into our soul. We have to look into our energy centers. We have to look into our subtle body. And we really have to understand how is it that we're really feeling. Because the reading I was getting last night didn't seem too good, right? It felt like there was just a lot of stagnancy within the action center, within the solar plexus of myself. And so you're always being thorough with yourself. That's a very important thing, right? I should probably have included this in the 30-day challenge of the BCR technique, is to be very, very thorough with yourself. Yes, it's good. We want to clean out the surface. The surface is getting clean, and that's excellent. But we have to go deeper. We have to go into the subterranean. We have to go into the substratum. We have to go into the very foundation of our being and look and really discover, is there still something there? Right? Because the weeds can still grow. They may be very, very deep on the ground, and there's no weeds sprouting on the surface, but the source of those weeds are still there. So it's just a reminder to everybody that make sure you're being thorough, right? Be thorough with yourself. Look into yourself. Take a few minutes out of your day and just look deeply into yourself. Look deeply into the heart. Look deeply into your energy centers. Look deeply into your soul. And see that if there is something going on there, no matter how small, it can eventually cultivate into something bigger in the times ahead if it's not dealt with. And again, it can lead to some unpleasant situations, right? So this is what I was discovering within myself. Like I said, I was seeing these flaws within myself, of course. It's the human being Brad. Human being Brad has flaws. We stub our toes. We trip over our own feet. We fall to the ground. And that's okay. We have to be okay with stubbing our toe. We have to be okay with tripping over things. We have to be okay with collapsing. Because even though we trip and fall and collapse and hit the dirt, we pick ourselves up again. We dust ourselves off and we keep going. And sometimes there's people around us to help, right? Someone sees us tripping and falling. And they come over and they lend a hand, right? And they help to pick us up. Are you okay? Everything going well? Everything good? That's beautiful as well too. So this is all just a reminder. Again, it's a success story. Again, through BCR technique that I did this morning, reinvigorating that fire, reinvigorating that action center. And I'm getting back into the flow now, getting back into my creative juices, so to speak, because I felt stagnant. I felt stagnant for the past couple of months, just not feeling like I was really taking advantage of my creativity, right? I was just kind of hanging around, doing things, doing work that I liked, right, that I enjoy, but I wasn't really bringing something new to the table. And that's really my nature, is to bring new things to the table. So I wanted to share this success story with all of you. I've also shared it on the Telegram groups today as well too, about that. So my recommendation is, it's okay to have flaws. It's okay to trip and fall. It's okay to collapse in the dirt, as long as you know to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and now you've become wiser. You've known how you tripped over yourself. You know how you stubbed your toe. You know how you got yourself a bump or a bruise. It's okay. Keep picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and now you've become wiser. And now you'll become stronger at the same time. All right. Thank you, guys. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to get into the beginning warm-up here. Then we're going to talk about the vagus nerve exercise. Then we're going to talk about cleaning up the dream body. Okay? So, first and foremost, let's take a moment, here and now. All right. Let's move on to some cleansing breaths. Okay, taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, feeling that active energy flowing through you now. Now we're going to do some heart rate variability. Again, some nasal breathing. Deep breath in through the nose, deep breath out through the nose. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. No pause in between. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And repeat. And one more time. Okay. So you can continue to work with the heart rate variability if you like. Just doing it for about a minute, I'm already starting to feel the hands tingling. Okay, that's exactly what we want. We want the hands to tingle. You want the hands to get warm. We want to feel that kind of buzzing sensation throughout the spine. We want to feel our dorsal-vagal complex buzzing with that frequency, right? Tingling a little bit, right? We may feel like our lip is starting to tingle. Again, it's what Forrest Knudsen refers to as the 4 proofs, right? And again, like I said, you may have astral movements, as I've talked about, with the nature of the spinning sensation, right? That is a process going on in the brain, but again, it's you moving into the subtle body, right? That's the astral movements. That's the alignment of the subtle body when you start to feel like there's a rotation or an orbiting or a shifting like that. Sometimes you may feel like you're tilting or you're moving up and down, okay, or you're spinning. It's all part of it. That's all part of you aligning to the subtle body, right? Going deeper. So that's a great sign, right? So after the heart rate variability, now we're going to go into the sensory intake, right? Starting off with the peripheral pillars here. Okay, so I just find my gaze right here. I find a central spot. I put my index fingers here that represent the peripheral pillars. So I'm including the peripherals as I'm looking forward. And now I just want you to fully take in everything that you see now. Going to the ears, I want you to take in everything that you hear now. Going to the nose, taking in everything that you smell now. Going to the hands and the feet, taking in everything that you touch now. And going to the mouth, taking in everything that you taste now. Okay, now I want you to bring all 5 of those senses together, taking in everything at once now. Okay, how are you feeling? Taking in all 5 senses at the same time. Is your mind getting quiet? Are the thoughts starting to diminish? The thoughts are starting to slow down? Feels like the mind is getting thinner? right? Everything's starting to mellow itself out. Very good. And that's just keeping yourself in that state and just moving much more from the left brain to the right brain. That's really what it's all about. When we're doing the cleansing breath, when we're doing the heart rate variability, when we're doing the sensory intake, right, the peripheral pillars, all we're doing is we're calming the mind down. We're calming down the left brain. We're calming down the chattery center of ourselves. The thoughts now start to diminish because your focus and awareness is completely contained within taking in all of the 5 senses. And again, you may also be doing heart rate variability at the same time, which I recommend. So do HRV and do the sensory intake, right? Do the peripheral pillars. And you just start off with one sense at a time. So you start off with your eyes, move on to your ears, to the nose, to the hands and feet, even to the body as well too, right? Just touching whatever you're touching. If you're touching your seat, you're being aware of that. I'm touching my seat. My back's touching the seat. I'm aware of that. Okay? That's all we're doing. We're just being aware of what our senses are picking up and going to the mouth and being aware of what you taste. So we're taking in all 5 of those senses and we're just observing. We're just being aware of them. We're not trying to analyze. We're not trying to evaluate. We're not trying to examine. We're just observing. We're just witnessing our senses from everything we see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. While you're doing the heart rate variability and you're going deeper. The thoughts start to quiet. Everything starts to mellow out and you feel still. And that's also very, very important. As we're going into the right brain, we're keeping the body very still. Okay, it's kind of like a granite statue. And you may twitch here and there at first, and that's okay. This takes practice. This is why we're doing this. This is why we call it New Earth practices. Okay, we're practicing this all the time. So like I said, don't be afraid to fall. Don't be afraid to stub your toe. Okay, don't be afraid to get some bumps and bruises if that happens. Throughout life, it will. Okay, but you're picking yourself up, you're dusting yourself off, and you're continuing onward. And that's the strength. That's the warrior. That's someone who is indeed a pure soul, who follows that. A pure soul is not flawless when it comes to life. They are going to fall many times. They're going to collapse under their own weight. They're going to get those bumps and bruises. They're going to get those nicks. They're going to get those wounds. But they're aware of them, and they're cleaning them up. That's a powerful soul. That's a wonderful soul, right? Be that soul. As Lord knows, I've tripped over my feet many times. Got bumps and bruises, lacerations, wounds from life, as many of us have, right? It's okay. It's okay that you're bumping and bruising. It's okay that you have a wound. It's okay you've tripped over your own feet. It's okay you've stubbed your toe, right? It's okay you've had greater falls. You've gotten up every single time. And you're here with me right now. That shows your courage. That shows how powerful a soul, how brave a soul you are indeed. So let's remember that. So again, everything that I'm teaching you guys today is all about going into the right brain, right? Is again, just keeping yourself very, very still, taking in the senses, working with heart rate variability, right? So that's the practice I'm always going to remind you guys with as we start every New Earth practice episode. Okay? All right, so let's move into the next topic now, which is based on the vagus exercise. Vagus nerve exercise. All right? So the vagus nerve. Oops. This always happens to me. Forgot to go into the program itself. There we go. Okay, so the vagus nerve. We have a very crude human body right here. Okay, we have that cranial nerve. And the wonderful thing about the vagus nerve is it touches almost every major organ within our body, right? So it's a cranial nerve. It's touching our heart. It's touching our lungs, touching our liver, right? Going down to our stomach here, the intestines. Okay, it's a connecting nerve, right? A very, very powerful one. It's responsible for our breathing. It's responsible for a lot of our respiratory functions. It's responsible for looking after a lot of our vital organs. It's a very important nerve. And this nerve can get stressed out quite a lot, quite commonly. So what we're doing here today is I'm giving you guys just a simple exercise through a drawing because I'm not really able to set up the camera for me to demonstrate this on the floor. Okay, so this is why I did this little diagram here, over here on the right. So what we want to do firstly, as we're doing this vagus nerve exercise, and you can actually find this exercise on YouTube as well too. Some people talk about it. Okay, the first thing we want to do to make sure that we want to work with our vagus nerve is we're just testing the flexibility of our neck. Okay, so very slowly, we're moving our head to the right, back to center, and to left. Okay, and we do it kind of more of at a natural speed. And left, right, and left. How easy is it for you to turn your neck? Okay. If it's a little bit difficult, you're hearing some cracks there, right? If it feels like it's a little stiff, and Brad, maybe I can only go this far. Maybe I can only go up to about here. Maybe I can only go up to about here. Well, then the vagus nerve exercise is going to be really, really good for you. Okay. So here's what you do. In the diagram here, you see a fellow laying down on a yoga mat, okay? They're laying flat, their knees are bent, and they're holding their head just like this, okay? So you're basically just laying on the floor, and you're putting your left and right hand just around the base of your skull to where it connects with the neck, okay? And you're basically just keeping your head neutral, right? You're not trying to turn it. You're keeping it like a clamp, okay? As you're laying down on the floor. And what you're doing is, as you're laying down on the floor, as you see here in the diagram, you're going to start off firstly by just moving your eyes to the right. Okay? So maybe you have a spot to look onto when you're looking to the right. Maybe there's a lamp there. Maybe there's a little dot on the wall, whatever it may be. Just bring your eyes to the right as you're laying down on the floor and you're not moving your head. Okay, and you're just looking there for at least a total of 30 seconds. Okay, so as we're doing that, we're again just looking to the right for at least 30 seconds. What we also want to be aware of is if we sigh, if we yawn, or if we swallow. If we sigh, yawn, or swallow, that's an indication that your vagus nerve does indeed need some work, right? So that's the reaction, right, of the vagus nerve actually needing work and getting repair, right? So if I'm like this, okay, and my eyes are turned to the right, and I swallow, okay, I just finished my 30 seconds because I swallowed at second number 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, okay? So if you swallow within the 30 seconds, that's okay. Just finish your 30 seconds, okay? If 30 seconds passed and you have not swallowed, you have not sighed, and you have not yawned, continue to do this, right? So continue just to stay with your eyes looking right. Okay, let's say it's 45 seconds. And now I'm yawning, okay? So there we go. And now I can come back to center. Okay, so we want to do the minimum of 30 seconds. And again, if we're swallowing, if we're sighing, if we're yawning, within that 30 seconds, that's good. Just finish the 30 seconds. If we have not done any of those reactions, okay, this is why I say look left until reaction, then look right. Okay, if we haven't done any of those reactions, we continue. We just continue to look right until we swallow, until we sigh, or until we yawn. Okay, once that happens, we bring our eyes back to center. Okay, once our eyes are back to center, again, we're keeping our hands here, just clamping the head and the neck, so we're not doing this. Okay, we're just keeping our head nice and neutral to center, and all we're doing is we're moving our eyes to the left. Okay, and we do again 30 seconds. If I swallow, sigh, or yawn within those 30 seconds, that's fine, just finish the 30. If I've gone 30 seconds and none of those things have happened, continue on. Let's say after 49 seconds, 50, 51, 52. Okay, I swallowed. And now I can come back to center. Okay. So after I've looked right, looked left, you can do it any way you want, right? If you want to look left first and right, completely up to you, right? Doesn't matter. Once we do both sides, Then we come back to center, and we sit back up again. Okay? Now, we test our neck again. Okay? And you may notice that it's a lot more vitality, a lot more flexibility may come through the neck. Okay? Like I said, if you're only able to turn it through about here, and it feels kind of stiff, right? You're testing out your neck now. Left, right. Oh yeah, it doesn't feel so stiff anymore. It feels a lot more loose. Great. That's the vagus nerve exercise. Okay, that's just one of them. There's quite a few of them. But this is one I wanted to share with you guys today. So we want to make sure we're taking good care of the vagus nerve. Okay, because that's part of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, right? We're looking at the dorsal vagal complex. Okay, dorsal vagal, vagus, right? So that's very, very important as we're doing respiratory breathing, as we're working with our heartbeat through heart rate variability. We're taking care of our vital organs at the same time also. So we want to make sure we're keeping the vagus nerve nice and healthy. This is essential for meditation. This is essential for your heart rate variability. Practice as you do that more and more, okay? So if you have a yoga mat, just lay down, make sure your knees are bent, okay? Now there's an advanced vagus nerve exercise as well too. If you guys want to get more into a challenge, is you're laying down just like this, but what you're also doing is you're creating a soft bridge. It's a gentle bridge, okay? So you're kind of just lifting your butt up a little bit, okay? It's a gentle bridge. If you guys are familiar with yoga and you do the bridge pose, okay? You're doing a gentle bridge. And what the gentle bridge does is it's working with your whole spine. It's not just working with the neck, okay? So as you're just giving yourself a soft elevation, a gentle bridge, okay? You're doing the same thing. You're looking right, 30 seconds. Come to center, looking left, 30 seconds, or for when you react, okay? When that's done, you bring the bridge down, you sit up, and what you're going to do is you're going to do a soft supine twist, right? Kind of like this. And you're testing your spine. And your spine now starts to feel a lot more easier to move. Feels a lot more gentle, a lot more softer, okay? That's an advanced technique, okay? If you guys have problems with your back, I don't suggest doing that right away, okay? I would suggest doing some soft yoga, some gentle yoga postures at first, right? Just getting yourself accompanied with that and just starting to work your way into doing like an advanced vagus exercise, okay? So that's the advanced vagus nerve where you're doing a gentle bridge and you're looking right, looking left, right? Do your vagus exercise, come back up, and you're just doing a gentle supine twist. And you're checking out your spine. To my knowledge, nobody has talked about that. It's just something I've kind of invented because it works. It helps out with. I've had stiff spines when I wake up in the morning. Right, get out of bed. My spine feels a little bit stiff. I do some yoga postures, and then I do the vagus nerve exercise, and I do that little bridge, and it feels amazing. Feels great. I do that little bridge with the vagus nerve exercise. I test the back with some gentle supine twists. The spine starts to feel a lot more softer, starts to feel a lot more easier. The stiffness starts to go away, right? So that's a recommendation I would give to all of you, right? So you can work together with that. A simple vagus nerve exercise, like I said, you can find a lot of this information on YouTube. There's quite a bit of good exercises for the vagus nerve, all right? Okay. So let's move on to the next topic now, is we're going to be looking into cleaning up the dream body, okay? So the dream body. So why is this important? Why do we want to clean out the dream body? Well, again, a lot of us, especially if we're doing the BCR technique, we're doing a lot of meditation, right? We're starting to feel very, very good inside. As we go off into the dream plane, we may start to feel like a lot of these dreams that we're getting may still feel very, very disturbing. We may still feel like we're going very much deeply into the bowels of horrific dreams, right? They're still coming out. Now, that's not a bad thing in any particular way. That's just showing that we're going through a purge. We're cleaning ourselves out a lot. But we can also do something with our dream body, right? I've actually done this with my dream body a short time ago, and my dreams have certainly improved a lot more because I was getting some pretty horrendous dreams at time, right? Not really nightmares, I would say, but they're just gruesome visuals, gruesome imagery that was coming together in the dream body. So all we're doing with cleaning out the dream body is we're doing BCR for the dream body. Okay, that's all we're doing. It's very, very simple. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to have some data. We want to have some dream data. Now we can start off with a timeline that can really stretch itself out quite far. Okay. So we basically want to be aware of our dreams. We want to recall dreams. Okay, so we maybe want to start with a 7-day list. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 days. What can I recall? It doesn't have to be the entire dream, but what did I recall? Okay, there was a lot of violence in night number 1 with my dream. There is a lot of sex and lust within the second night. There was a lot of financial peril, financial problems within the third night, and it just goes on. We're listing some of these things that maybe we're being offended by, right? There's the idea of being abused or being hurt, right? Someone trying to stab me in the dream plane, right? There's just a lot of creepy crawlers, right? I'm dreaming a lot of spiders, centipedes, scorpions, snakes. Okay, I'm dreaming a lot. I feel like they're trying to take me over and so forth. So I'm looking at all of these things. Now this can be basically a span of a week. Like I said, this is kind of your recent dream log. Okay, so you're creating a dream log. If you guys are already keeping track of your dreams, great. You're well ahead of the game here. But if you're not, I would like you just to, for the next 7 days, just keep a dream log to getting an idea of what your dreams are telling you. Okay? So we're just creating a dream log here about, again, violence, sexual lust, financial problems, feeling abused, dreaming of creepy crawlers, right? Whatever it may be. Just things that we know are unpleasant, we know is not very comfortable within our dream space that we're experiencing. Okay? So we have a dream log. So now we have something that we can work together with for the physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Again, if you guys have done the 30-day BCR technique challenge, you already know what I'm talking about here. Okay? If you have not done yet, please do it. Okay? 30-day BCR technique challenge. Okay, you can find that on my playlist here on my YouTube channel. So as we have that log, we now have some data. We have some data that we can now log into. Okay, physically, how was I feeling in the dream? I felt exhausted. I felt like I was running away from things. I felt like a person was chasing me. I felt like I was out of breath. Okay, so there was exhaustion, right? There was the feeling of being out of breath. Okay, sexual lust dream, right? Just feeling like a lusting over people. And I felt like very animalistic, right? I felt animalistic kind of more on an emotional level. Okay, so I'm writing that down. Financial problems. Okay, I was feeling like I was emotionally struggling. I was frantic. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was upset. I was also afraid that I was going to lose everything. Great, this is all emotional data. Okay, abused. I feel like a person was attacking me. I could feel my body getting hit, attacked. I felt like there was just, it feels like a person had their hands around my neck. I felt like I was being strangled. So there was an abuse feeling. Right, so that would go down the physical body. Okay, so you're treating your dream body as a physical body, right? So your dream body is taking the place of your physical body because we can get hurt in the dream time, right? It's a different kind of hurt, but we certainly can get hurt. Okay, creepy crawlies, right? If I feel like spiders were coming over me and I got that creepy feeling, that eerie feeling, I feel like there was nowhere to go, right? I felt trapped. I felt contained. I couldn't go anywhere. Okay, there's mental body, right? So mental body relates to your beliefs. It relates to your conditioning, right? What's the conditioning that you're going through? Feeling trapped, right? In a room full of spiders and I couldn't move. I was even trying to squash one of them and it wouldn't work. No matter how many times I tried to squash one of them, it kept moving, right? I've had dreams like that. It's very, very creepy, right? And I could actually feel like it was like trying to stamp iron. It was like trying to stamp steel. And the spider would keep moving and keep moving and keep moving, right? And I just tried to smash it to bits, and it just kept moving, right? It was like I was trying to smash steel, right? So I was getting upset, I was getting fearful, I was getting anxious, or there we go, we got some dream data here. So we're just keeping that dream log of this first 7 days, okay? We can certainly go back into other dreams as well too, looking into a lot of haunting dreams because there are dreams that really do stand out with us. Right? Feeling that we lose everything. Feeling that we were in a fight. Feeling like, again, we're being chased. right? Feeling like we're just plummeting in this abyss and we don't know how to stop it, right? A lot of it is emotionally triggered, right? It's emotional and mental for sure, but we still add the physical body as well too. So like we do in the BCR technique where we have our check-in list, which I do not, oh, here it is, okay. Okay, we have our check-in list here, and we start writing things down. Okay, how do I feel physically? How do I feel emotionally? How do I feel mentally? Okay, that's what we're doing for the dream body. Right, so as we start writing down all of that information, now we have something to work with. Okay, and as we go into the BCR technique, we're again acting as the dream body. Our dream body is in the space. Okay, so we're doing our breath work, we're doing our calmness, and we're going into reinforcement, and we're seeing ourselves as the dream body. Okay, so now we're elevating ourselves up with that love energy. Okay, the love energy is getting stronger and stronger, right? 10 out of 10 on the scale, that love energy that you're bringing out through your heart, right? Just as you've done before. And now as we have all that love energy contained within ourselves, we're now telling the love energy itself, whether it's an entity or whether you're just talking to your heart, for my dream body, I wish to clear out everything here in the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. Let it be done. Okay? And now you're going to notice that the healing effect for that is going to be very, very quick because you're working with the astral body. You're working with the dream body. You're working with the subtle body. You're not working with the physical body. So you're going to notice that you can get a rush of this love energy that's really impacting your dream body. Okay? The second thing you also want to do when we're cleaning out the dream body is you want to be aware of being in the non-dual. Okay? So what you're doing is you're meditating on the non-dual reality prior to going to sleep at night. Okay? I'm in non-duality. I'm not in anything that's conflicting. I'm not in anything that's polarizing. I'm afloat in stillness. I am God consciousness. I am the self. And that's what I'm meditating on. And this is exactly what we're doing at the beginning of New Earth practices. We're doing the cleansing breath. We're doing the heart rate variability. We're doing the sensory intake. And it's very, very good to do this just before going to bed. Okay? So if you want to reserve 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour before going to bed, and you're meditating on this, on being non-dual. Okay, I'm going from the left brain, I'm going to the right brain. I feel completely at peace. I've already done my BCR technique earlier, cleaning out the dream body. And now I can go for a nice, beautiful long sleep, undisturbed by everything, because I'm floating in the non-dual. So as I'm floating in the non-dual, I don't get those creepy crawler dreams. I don't get those violent dreams. I don't get those sexual lustful dreams. I don't get those financial peril dreams. I don't get those abusive dreams, right? I'm clearing them all out. Now again, these dreams don't just happen. They're a reflection of ourselves. So we're still continuing to clean ourselves out through our standard BCR technique practice, working with the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. Then we come into the point where we can now start to work with the dream body, because we've done a lot of work with the physical, mental, and emotional bodies pertaining to physical life. Now we can start looking into dream life, because dream life is there. Okay, it's our gauge. It's letting us know about what we're going through, what we have gone through in the past, what we've left unresolved. What I do know is if we don't clean out the dream body quite regularly, it gets highly contaminated, right? So this is why we want to be aware of the dreams that we're feeling. And what many of us do is we basically just scrumple up those dreams and we toss it in the bin. Your body is still affected by that. Your dream body is still affected by everything that you have dreamt. Okay? And that leaks in through the mental, the emotional, and the physical body. Okay? It's a leak. If we don't go and clean that up, then again, it's just like these piles of papers, these piles of scrumpled up papers in the bin. It's going to create a tower out of them. Okay? And that's going to build up in our dream body, because it's telling you, hey, you haven't been able to clear this out, right? So if you're having a disturbing dream, you want to give yourself some time just to focus on it, okay? Not attaching to it, but you're acknowledging it, right? You're creating your dream log here. Okay, it was a violent dream. This is what I dreamt about, etc., etc. Sex, lust, finances, abuse, creepy crawlies. I was dreaming about this. Don't discard it. Don't throw it to the side. Okay, that's something we got to work with. That's something you need to incorporate in your BCR technique daily. If you have a bad dream, you got to work with that. We got to clean that out. So all we're basically looking at the dream log and saying, what was the theme of this dream? It doesn't matter about all the fine details. Just what was it doing to me? What was it making me feel? Was my physical body feeling hurt? Not really. It was more emotional, okay? Emotionally, what was being hurt? I just felt like I was in fear. I was anxious. I was trying to escape something. I felt very, very upset. Okay, so we want to write that down. That's stimulation from our dream plane. We want to put that in our check-in list, okay? What about mentally? Again, I was feeling confined. I didn't feel like I could go anywhere. I felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I had a problem trusting anybody. I felt like everybody was against me, okay? That's a mental body blockage right there, okay? We want to put that down. So we're working together with the disturbing dreams. So what I'd like you to do, yes, is to do a dream log of your 7 days of dreams, okay? But you're working through each one each day. So again, night number 1 was about violence, okay? So yes, I want to do a BCR technique with my dream body about violence, and I want to clean all that out, okay? But I'm keeping that for the log, okay? I dreamt about something with violent situation. How was my physical body, emotional body, mental body? Here's the stimulation. Night number 1, I went into the BCR technique. I cleared it out, okay? So the violence was taken care of, but I'm still putting it in my dream log, okay? Night number 2, something about sex and lust, right? A person trying to abuse me with sexual behavior and me getting sexually abused, etc. This can happen. So again, I'm acknowledging that. I'm going into the BCR technique. I'm clearing that energy of the dream out, right? I'm cleaning out the dream body with that. That's taken care of, okay? And I just go down the list. Day number 3, day number 4, day number 5. Okay, so I'm keeping this dream log. As I keep this dream log, right, this is going to help me with additional dreams in the past that I have not been able to remedy, that I have not been able to resolve. So we're looking through this dream log, through again this 7-day example of dream logs, about the themes of the dreams that we've had that represent a disturbance, okay? If you have positive dreams, then you're good, right? Don't worry about positive dreams. If you're feeling positive, you're feeling great, it was very refreshing, good. Honor that dream. Thank you for that dream for coming forward, because that's given me a lot of energy, okay? I'm looking at the dreams right now that are basically disturbing, that are unpleasant, right? That are basically discrepancies within ourselves. So we have to look into that every single night, right? We're just attempting to recall that. Brad, what if I don't remember my dreams? That's where you want to go into meditation. That's where you want to stimulate the centers of your body. This is why you go into the right brain. The right brain stimulates the ability to recall dreams, okay? Because that's what you're putting forward as an intention. When you're sitting very still, when you're going from the left brain to the right brain, you're feeling that spaciousness. You may start to feel activity happening in the brain. Okay, it's kind of like those, it's like a celestial wash that's coming over the brain. There's a scientific term relating to that where people have that kind of rush. It's kind of like a brain rush that they get. I don't remember the exact term of it, but it's kind of like where people feel like the sound of shredded paper basically stimulates the good feelings in their brain, right? The way that of how a person kind of whispers to you can stimulate something in the brain. I don't remember the term for it. Maybe you guys do. But it's kind of like a brain rush, right? You're getting all this activity in the brain. It's opening up centers within yourself. But as you stay in the right brain, this is what it does automatically. Okay, it's opening up centers. It's opening up channels within the brain. It's helping you to recall things a lot more. So you can certainly put that forward through intention. And as you meditate a lot more in the right brain, a lot of this is going to grow more and more over time. Okay, so it's good to have that quality. When you're working together with the right brain, you're going to notice that you can recall things a lot more. I'm actually recalling my dreams a lot more now as I'm going much more deeper into the right brain meditations. Okay? So we want to just work together in getting a dream log going. And this is helping us to identify, again, dreams that have stood out through our life, right? I can remember certain dreams as a teenager. that really stood out because they were horrifying, right? And I went and cleaned those out. So the dream body is also a part of what we're cleaning out through the BCR. So not only are we cleaning out our current life, we're not just cleaning out our variants, we're not just cleaning out our relationships to the life circle, the families, the friends, we're also cleaning out the dream body. Okay? So that is some homework I'd like to assign you guys. Keep track of your dreams. And like I said, even if you're just doing keywords, just like this, 1 or 2 keywords about what your dreams are about, that's all you need. Okay? How did my physical body feel? How did my emotional body feel? How did my mental body feel? I'm writing that down on my check-in list. Okay? And that's getting myself prepared to doing a BCR technique. Now I do the BCR and I clean out all of that debris, physically, mentally, and emotionally, that I experienced in my dream body. Now my dream body is getting purified. Now I'm noticing I'm dreaming much more in the non-dual. Or I may just have a dreamless sleep. I may just go to sleep and I just wake up and I have no recollection of any dreams whatsoever. Perfect. That's great. That's you going into dreamless sleep. Okay? It's really how it should be, because now you're not disturbed by anything. It's kind of like a clean slate feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. All right? Okay, guys, so why don't I come back here now? I'll come back to the main screen. And if you guys do have any questions in regards to what I've talked about today, okay, so when it comes to the vagus nerve exercise, when it comes to the dream body, okay, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to write it down here in the chat. Okay, let me just go into the chat right now. Yeah, Anders says, solar plexus dimming. I have started feeling better in my heart, but haven't checked my solar plexus. Yeah, I know. You and me alike, right? Sometimes we may check it on the surface. We may look into the chakra centers. On the surface, everything feels good. But this is why we want to have to kind of drill down into it and look into these things a little bit more. Because like I said, there was frustration. There was a feeling of just uninterest, right? Not feeling interested in things, right? That was happening within myself. So a little bit of apathy, right? There was a little bit of dispassion within myself. And I had to catch that. And I'm thankful that I did that reading on myself last night, so I can catch these things and I can pull them out. So that you're basically shining that light. You're shining your sun deeply within yourself. That action energy is coming back. You feel creative. You feel practical in wanting to develop something innovative. That's very important. It's important for me, right? So I'm glad I noticed that. So it's just a reminder, we have to look more deeper into ourselves. We have to be a little bit more thorough with our work. All right? Okay. Get some more water here. Vicky says, I just realized, sorry guys, my throat's very scratchy today. I just realized that's been happening for me. I tried sparking and creativity by making pasta by scratch. I have been feeling calm and peaceful, but my creativity isn't what it used to be. Yeah, so we got to look into that. It's kind of like we have to dust off the solar plexus, right? There may not be a lot of dust on the surface, but as we drill down, we may notice that there's some muck and grime there, and we have to clean that out. And that's what I noticed within my own chakra as well. Okay. Okay, Sandria says, I have had great results with the BCR thus far. What is the purpose for the eyes being open? I have done it with my eyes closed in my past meditation practice. Well, if we're going back into yogic science with this idea, is that when you start doing certain types of yoga, they will say that certain practices should be done with closed eyes and certain practices should be done with open eyes. The reason being is because you're balancing the hemispheres between the outer world and the inner world, right? So with your eyes closed and you're doing an exercise, you're working much more with the inner self, okay? And then there's certain exercises that are more practical that you're doing with the eyes open so that you're being aware of the physical. So what we're doing is we're harmonizing the physical and inner being, right? So the physical and the spiritual are being harmonized. So there are certain exercises that can be open-eyed, and there are certain exercises that are closed-eyed. It's a little complicated to get into because there's a lot of different variables to it. But if you're doing something like Kundalini yoga, or if you're doing something like Kriya yoga, other certain forms of yogas as well too, will basically get you to, well, of course, very importantly, we're always doing nose breathing, right? Sometimes we're closing the eyes, sometimes we're keeping them open, because it's balancing the hemispheres between the physical and the spiritual world, right? You're not being too materialistic, and preventing yourself from being too materialistic, you have your eyes closed, and you're doing the practices with the eyes closed to really rejuvenate your inner self, okay? And then we're not being too spacey. We're not going too far into the inner that we're forgetting that we have a life here to live. And so we're keeping our eyes open, and so we're grounding ourselves. So there's basically that hemispheric balancing that comes together with certain variables pertaining to exercises that are both requiring open-eyed or closed-eyed activity. Okay, so that's kind of in the yogic science tradition. And through me, I basically say it's up to you, right? When I, for example, teach you guys the BCR technique, I basically suggest doing it with eyes closed, right? So when you're doing the deep breathing, eyes closed. When you're doing the heart rate variability, eyes closed. You're going into calmness because you're tapping into everything. Everything with the BCR technique is an inner practice, right? As it's an inner practice, it makes sense for the eyes to be closed, okay? I'm not too sure maybe if you're talking about the vagus nerve exercise, okay? It's not so much, I'm not too sure if that's what you're talking about. But basically, if we're doing the vagus nerve exercise, we're just moving our eyes from right to left. It's just it's a body hack, right? It's what our body responds to with our eyes open and moving to the right, staying there for about 30, 45 seconds until we swallow, sigh, or yawn, come back to center, going to the left, right? Try not to move our head. Sometimes I get that little twitch myself to do so. Okay, and we're staying there, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, till we swallow, till we sigh, till we yawn, and we come back, and we test ourselves out. So regarding the vagus nerve exercise, no, you're moving your eyes left to right, okay? It's just in regards to how we're designed. We're designed that way. This is a hack that works together. It connects with the nerves. It connects with the vagus nerve. When we're doing the left eye, when we're doing the right eye, the looking left, looking right, it connects to the vagus nerve, and that helps to clean it out, right? So it's kind of like we're taking this energetic current and we're sending it down just by moving the eyes and being still, okay? It's just how we're designed. It's how we're built. It's a very beautiful thing. Okay. So here's a question here from Mira. Mira or Myra. Can you ask Spirit about new energies for November coming to Earth? Yeah, that's not really what we're here to do today, Myra. Okay, this is Spirit. This is New Earth Practices. Okay, so Myra, please save your question for New Earth Insights or New Earth TV Live. Okay, I'm not really talking about the energies of November today. Okay, that's not what we're here for. This is the Practices webinar. Okay, the Practices live stream. Okay. So what is the purpose of the open eyes? I think I've just described that. Lisa says the pictures you draw are gorgeous. Really, they're just stick figures, right? So I think that's the type of thing I was drawing when I was 6 years old. So I can draw better than that, but I just use that for example. But I'm glad you like the stick figures. Okay. So Anders says, how to notice if one has solar plexus dim. You got to look inside yourself, Anders. I can't really give you a practical idea for this. You have to know your own patterns. It's a very important thing. What type of person are you? Are you very creative? Right? Do you have a lot of innovative ideas? Are you very energetic? Right? Do you have that kind of fiery intention? You want to get things done? Okay, that's very much my type of pattern. Okay? And I noticed that for the past couple of months, I wasn't really there. I was kind of dimming my light a little bit just in regards to the action levels because I was feeling a little bit over complacent about things. I was feeling, again, some inner frustration. I was feeling, in that sense, some kind of inner defeatism as well, too. Because, again, like I said, one of the things that really drove my passion strong was being able to travel, was being able to explore, take flights, go to Japan, right? Go to South Africa, go to Mount Shasta, right? And being able to do events there. That was thrilling to me. That was something that just set my heart on fire. It was so beautiful. And now that I knew that I could not do that because I'm basically staying local here, and I could do some trips around Canada, but I usually like to do them around spring and summertime. And my spring and summertime was quite a mess with a lot of things. So there were just things that were building up in regards to some inner frustration on a deeper level for myself and the feeling of almost feeling defeated in certain ways. Okay? But I wasn't really aware of it too much because I was looking too much into my surface. So this is what I'm talking about, is you have to drill down. You have to drill down into yourself. You have to know your own patterns, Anders. It's so important, right? We have to know the type of person that we are. Are we kind of mellow and go with the flow? Are we very kind of rigid? We like to plan everything, right? Are we following those patterns, those kind of natural personality patterns? Are we flowing with them? No. I feel kind of stagnant as of late in regards to organization. It's kind of like I don't care. Then that's a problem, right? And really where that takes place is your action center, okay? That's your solar plexus, okay? Now, if I'm talking about chakras, I know I'm pointing right here because it's a solar plexus. But when we're looking at chakras, we're looking at basically 2 points. We can look at the chakras from an endocrine system standpoint, and we can look at chakras from a spinal standpoint, okay? So in the yogic science, there's only 6 chakras, okay? Yogic science does not subscribe to the idea of there being 7 chakras, okay? So you basically have your root or your Muladhara chakra. You have your Svadhisthana, okay, that represents the sacrum, okay? So you have the coccyx representing Muladhara. You have the sacrum representing that of Svadhisthana, okay? Then you have your lumbar, okay, just underneath the navel, that you're connecting to the spine, and that's the Manipura, okay? So 3 right down here. Then we move up into the heart, the Anahata, okay? But again, we're not actually looking at the heart, we're actually looking at the thoracic, okay? When we move up from the thoracic, we're going up to the throat, okay? We're going up into Vishuddha, okay? And that's connecting to the cervical spine. Then when we're moving up into the third eye, we're connecting to the medulla oblongata, okay? It's the medulla. So with the medulla, it's kind of in that position. Forrest Knudsen talks about this. If you're just moving your head very, very slightly like that, you kind of feel like there's a screw. It's kind of what attaches the base of the skull to the neck, right? It's like a little screw, just as you're doing this, okay? That's the position of the medulla. The medulla is the link directly to the third eye, okay? As you start to work with the medulla oblongata, that's what's helping you to stimulate the third eye practice. When you're actually doing the variation of the yoni mudra, okay? And you see that eye, I've done a video about this, seeing your spirit light, you're looking at the medulla, okay? Those are the 6 chakras. This is not a chakra. The crown chakra is not a chakra, okay? It's a gateway. It's the thousand petal lotus, okay? That's basically, you could say, the enlightenment gateway. Now there's another center that the yogis also concentrate on. It's right at the back where you feel like the soft area of the skull, right? Right back here is what's known as the bindu, okay? The bindu is not a chakra center, but it's a subtle center. It functions as a dual trap door, okay? It is your intermediary between consciousness and the physical world, right? The word bindu means to divide or to split, right? So the yogis will focus on the bindu a lot in their meditations. They will bring their attention to bindu. And bindu, again, is the intermediary. It's the bridge that's helping you to connect between the physical world and higher consciousness. So as you go into higher consciousness, you feel the bindu, in that sense, vibrating. You can feel it opening up in a way. And you can feel yourself that it is the gateway to moving yourself into pure consciousness. So they focus on the bindu, okay? Then, of course, there's the Anya chakra in the back here. But like I said, the Anya chakra connects to the medulla, right? So I'm not going to give away any particular forms of yoga secrets here because it's important that you guys discover this yourself. But again, there's a loop. There's an exercise that involves a loop. And you're basically naming the Sanskrit terms for the chakras or subtle centers. And you're moving it through the body, okay? And it's a loop. So that's the yogic science way, pertaining to the 6 chakras and other subtle centers. We do have more chakras in the body, but the yogis don't really acknowledge those ones. Now, if we go into the example of the Hebrew, right, if we're looking into the Jewish aspects or the Kabbalah would basically have 9 chakras, the sephiroths, in that way. And the 10th would actually represent the bindu, in that way. If we're looking at the Kabbalah tree, right, the idea of the 10 Sephiroths, different traditions have different things, right? So when you look at the Kabbalah version, we're basically looking at the Sephiroths as the chakra centers, with the 10th Sephiroth being that of the Bindu. Okay, that's why Kabbalists, Jewish, will basically have those nice little hats. I don't know what you call them. Basically over that, they're actually protecting that center, protecting the Bindu. Okay, that's another version of, again, another culture that has different numbers of chakra centers, okay, that they refer to as Sephiroths. Then we have the Edgar Cayce version, okay, which is what I use quite commonly, and that connects to the endocrine systems, okay, the endocrine glands. So I've talked about the 7 endocrine glands, and it's just as valid as any of the other sciences I've talked about, yogic and Kabbalah, okay. So Edgar Cayce talked a lot about the endocrine glands and the cells. Now, basically, when you're looking at the root chakra and you're looking at the navel chakra or the sacral chakra, they're twins. That's basically what they represent. This is actually shared in the Mahabharata when you're looking into the Pandava brothers, right? The brothers that represent the root chakra and the navel chakra or sacral chakra were known as twins. They were the twins. So that's really what you're working with together, is that the root chakra and the sacral chakra are twin chakras, because they both correspond more so to the areas of the gonads, okay? So when Edgar Cayce talks about the idea of working with the gonads, you're working with the testes or you're working with the ovaries. And then when you're working with the sacral chakra, you're working with the Leydig and the hilar cells, okay? That's them being twins. The root and the sacral chakra are twins, all right? So you work together with that area, okay? So the gonads, the testes, the ovaries, the Leydig and hilar cells, okay? Then you move up into the solar plexus, which again is connected to the navel, connected directly to the lumbar, and that is also connected to the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands for the endocrine system are linked together for that. So you're working together both. This is how I do it, okay? This is just how I do it, guys. It's up to you if you want to do it this way, okay? Just putting that out there beforehand. Disclaimer, all right? So what I do is I work with both the yogic and the Edgar Cayce systems, okay, together. So again, when I'm working together with the coccyx, right, I'm also working together with the testes. When I'm going up into the sacrum, I'm also working together with the Leydig cells, okay? When I'm going up into the solar plexus, I'm working with the lumbar, right, just below the navel, as well as the adrenals, okay? So I'm combining them. Okay, as I'm moving up into the heart, okay, I'm connecting to the thymus gland, that butterfly-shaped gland here, as well as the thoracic. Okay, when I'm moving up into the throat, I'm working with the thyroid, and I'm working with the cervical. Okay, and when I'm going up into the third eye, I'm connecting with the medulla, and I'm also connecting with the pineal. Okay, so I'm working to them dually. And then finally, when I go up into the crown, I'm working just with the pituitary gland. Okay, that's it. That's the method that I do. And that, again, you guys don't have to do that. That's just what I do. I combine the Edgar Cayce system together with the yogic system, with the yogic system representing the 6 chakras throughout the spine, okay? And of course, the 7 chakra endocrine systems through the Edgar Cayce system. That's what I do, okay? So if you guys want me to talk about that a little bit more, drop me an email. Said, Brad, I'd like to know a little bit more about this. What do you do to clean out the chakras? Can you talk about the subtle centers? Can you talk about the chakras more? If you guys make requests for that, I'm more than happy to do that, okay? It is actually on my list already of something to do, okay? Thank you. Okay. Margie says, where can I find the BCR technique? I am late to these teachings. Yes. So Margie, if you go onto my YouTube channel, okay, you're on my YouTube channel right now, okay, just go to my videos, okay? When you go to my videos, look at playlists, okay? Click on playlists, and you'll see the BCR technique 30-day challenge right there, okay? So you can just tune into that. It's there on my playlists on my YouTube channel, okay? Otherwise, you can just go to the video description here, and you'll see a link there. I believe that the 30-day challenge is linked there. You can also go to the Telegram groups. The links are in the video description of this video. Okay? Thank you. Moya says, what if we seldom remember our dreams? Well, this is what I was talking about, is that you're meditating more on the right brain. Okay? Now, do you guys remember my 5-minute focus meditation? Okay, remember when I've talked about 5-minute focus? Okay? That's another thing that you can do as well, is you're going into your 5-minute focus meditation and you're meditating on your brain, basically just being active because your memory is increasing. You're feeling your memory increasing through the 5-minute focus meditation. That's another thing that you can do. Okay? So I'm meditating and I create an image. I create an image of the brain and I just see all of the centers of my brain lighting up. It's like Lego, or light bright, I should say. It's like light bright, right? Just everything, all these centers within the brain are lighting up. And I'm feeling that, saying, yeah, my dream recall is happening. I can recall my dreams a lot more. So I'm focusing on that and I'm putting emotional investment. As if I was feeling my brain is getting completely activated right now. I can feel the memory coming in right now. How is that going to make me feel? It's going to make me feel really happy, right? I want to put that emotional signature in that meditation that I'm doing, the 5-minute focus, right? To see the stimulated centers of the brain being active, okay? So that's a second option. First option, right brain meditation, okay? Going into the nonlinear mind, just like I talked about at the beginning of this webcast today, okay? Second thing, 5-minute focus, okay? Working with the 5-minute focus meditation, feeling your brain just being activated, feeling these centers lighting up, these hemispheres lighting up, and feeling what it's like to have that feeling of, my God, I can remember things now. I can remember my dreams. I can remember my life. I can remember my timelines, right? You're getting excited. You're triggering emotional response into that. And that's what accelerates these awakenings, okay? When you get emotional over your awakenings, guys, very, very strong, happy, positive feelings, you're going to go through great awakenings because you're emotionally investing into your meditations when it comes to 5-minute focus, okay? That's, again, optimized manifestation. Of course, the other part of optimized manifestation is I can utilize this knowledge to benefit others, right? Remember when I say when you really have an optimized manifestation, you're looking at it for others' sake. So now that you have these activations in the brain and you're getting memory recall and all that, now you can pass this on to others and you can see how others are really benefiting from this as well too. That's the nature of optimized manifestation. Optimized manifestation is not just focusing together on you, but it's seeing how it's helping your world and the people in it by what you are able to achieve, by what you're able to accumulate, and now what you're able to teach others to do. Okay? Make that part of your excitement as well. Just go down the list here. Alma says, what's the easiest practice to align chakras? Focus on each through meditation. Yeah, that's a bit of a longer video. That's a longer explanation for me. To me, I don't feel that there's really an easy way to do it. Okay, there's different ways of doing it. Okay, I have talked about this before. Remember when I'm doing webcasts in the past, and I basically say, okay, guys, we're going to clean out our chakra centers. Remember how we do it? We plug the ears. We do Om chanting directly into the chakra centers. Okay, so I'm plugging my ears. Om. And I'm directing that vibrational sound into the chakra center that I'm working on. Okay, that's one particular way. The second part of that is that you're actually mentally chanting Om into a chakra center, okay? This is a yogic technique referred to as Om Japa, okay? Forrest Knudsen teaches this, where he talks about just mentally Om chanting directly into a chakra center. It's kind of like you have an Om sphere right here, and you're dropping it directly into the chakra, and it's like an implosion of as your Om chanting is bringing it back into a state of harmony, okay? So the Om Japa is one particular way, okay? Where I talked about plugging the ears and you're doing the Om chanting, okay? You're directing that into the chakra center, and you can do that 2-3 more times. And then I'd like you to end with a mental Om chant directly into the chakra center, okay? That's performing Om Japa. Now, the whole idea here, guys, chakras are a really, really big topic. It's not something I can give you an elevator version of. People can spend hours, days, weeks just talking about the chakra centers alone, okay? They are complex. So it's not just the idea of saying, doing this, Om chanting into it, it feels good, but you got to start looking into the chakras as well too, right? You got to pull up, you got to drill down directly into the root chakra, directly into the coccyx, and feel, what is it that I'm feeling there, okay? I'm feeling some strain, I'm feeling some tension, I'm feeling like there's some survival energy there. Yes, because the root chakra gets involved with that. Okay, guys, it's a whole big topic. I really don't have time to go into it today. This is why I say if you guys want me to do a video on it, let me know, okay? I do have it down on the list. I would like to do a video on it altogether. So, yes, it's a big explanation. It's a big subject. It's not just the idea of saying, doing this, Om, and everything's good and I never have to touch the chakras again. No, it's not like that. Chakras are mind, okay? They are mind. They're all part of energetic centers of mind. That's their nature, okay? They do not have a physical presence within our body, but they are linked to physical areas within our body, okay? Such as the endocrine system, such as the spine, all right? There's a whole system to it. It's not just the idea of saying, okay, Brad just says for me to do Om Japa, Brad just says for me to do the Om chant and put it in there, start massaging it, and it's good, I move on. No, that's a good surface cleaning, okay? And that's a good surface cleaning, and it helps, right? But there's a lot more to it than that. Guys, we are constantly going through maintenance, okay? The inner work involves continence maintenance. It's like looking at your house and saying, if I just vacuum my house one time, it'll never get dirty again. No, it's gonna get dirty, right? You gotta vacuum it often, okay? You gotta clean up your house often to keep it clean. Same thing with your body. If I just shower one time once and that's it, it'll never get dirty again. No, it's gonna get dirty again. You gotta jump in the shower and you got to clean yourself up. Same thing goes with the chakra centers. Okay, we have to know exactly what each chakra is designated for. That's what I would do in the video. Okay, I would show you guys exactly what we're looking at with each of the chakra centers, how they're linked directly to the spine and to the endocrine systems, and good ways of cleaning them out. And also drilling into them to see what is there. What's the emotional turmoil that's contained in each chakra. Forrest also refers to this as being a roll-up. As you start to work together with every chakra, it's like those old blinds that roll up. It's that interview that he did with me, where he's basically saying we're cleaning out the chakra centers and we're doing a roll-up here. And as we do a roll-up, it almost feels like a type of Kundalini effect. Okay? There's so much to it, guys. I have a lot to tell you about the chakra centers. I cannot wrap it up in 2 minutes. Okay? So I will certainly look into doing a video with you guys, and I can educate you guys a little bit more about combining these systems together, right? Forrest is very much in alignment to the yogic system of the chakra centers, and that's great. Okay, sorry guys, I think I dropped out there for a second. So as I was saying, Forrest is able to go into the yogic science about the chakra centers, and that's great, right? We have the 6 chakras in the yogic system. But what I do is I incorporate the yogic system of the chakras, and I incorporate the Edgar Cayce system of the chakras, looking into the 7 seals or the 7 endocrine systems, 7 endocrine glands, okay? So I'm combining them together, and I would do it in this form of a core teaching. So I will put that on the list of something that I'll create, okay? It's going to be a long video, just so you know. You got to bear with me when I do a video of that size. It's going to be very, very extensive, okay? I don't have an elevator version for you guys right now for the chakra centers because it's such a big topic, all right? Okay, we're going to take one more question, guys. We're going to wrap up. Okay, Wild Sense. Okay. Hi, Brad. Do you know about or have you heard of seeing a blue-purple dot point of light in the inner vision third eye, also known as the blue pearl? Yes. This is why I talk about the idea of being able to go in and seeing your spirit light. Okay. because you may actually start to see a point of light that could be blue, could be yellowish, could be white. It varies from person to person, okay? When I go in and I start doing the yoni mudra, right, I start seeing this bright light all around me, and there's times where I see a distant point of light, like a star, right, a distant star in the void. And I focus on that, and sometimes that star can come a little bit closer, then it kind of fades away. And there's times where I'm looking at these apertures. These apertures are opening up as well, too. There's times, again, where I see eyes, right? I see eyeballs looking back at me, and that's the medulla, okay? So the medulla oblongata would be the idea of the center representing that of your third eye complex, okay? So you look at the medulla oblongata, and you can look at the pineal gland, okay? But mainly when I'm doing this, the spirit eye, when I'm doing the yoni mudra, it connects directly to the medulla, okay? If I'm looking up, or sometimes I'm just closing my eyes and I'm concentrating on the pineal, I may sometimes get visions of it, or I'm just, again, quietly concentrating on it, okay? Because that's the endocrine gland that I'm focusing on at the same time. So yes, I'm focusing on the medulla, and I'm also focusing on the pineal, okay? Sometimes you may get visions. Don't worry so much about visions, though, okay? Just focus directly on the center. Focus on the center with the medulla. Focus on the center of the pineal. And that's it. If you get visions or not, doesn't matter. Okay, that's just your own interpretation of the energies that are being brought forward as you're doing work on the chakra centers. Okay? Thank you, guys. We're going to wrap up for today. Got to clean up my throat. My throat's getting a little scratchy today. And so, thank you, everybody, for joining me for today's broadcast. Okay, I will be back here tomorrow, Friday, for New Earth TV Live. Okay, so if you guys have questions regarding to the affairs of the world, the current states, that's where it belongs. Okay, the New Earth Practices is all about doing our inner work and our inner practices all together. Okay, thank you, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next video, and have a great day. Be well, and I'll see you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.